Hi and welcome. My name is Alain Jacques and I'm also known as the MasterDigger. I am the owner and co-founder of OptionsDigger.com. I have prepared this introduction and presentation to explain what OptionsDigger.com is and how I use the list we generate every single day in order to detect possible setups that I may want to observe and trade. Before I get to the practical part, please have a look at the required disclaimer. Please be aware that English is not my mother tongue, so I am sorry for all the language mistakes you might have to endure during my presentation, although I'm pretty sure you will understand me. I am a normal person and trader. OptionsDigger.com was primarily developed for my own and personal use and not as a third-party service, so please understand that my presentation will be pretty straightforward and informal. If you have questions, please contact me by email. Thank you. So here we go. First of all, let me tell you why I started OptionsDigger.com. Well, I've been trading since over 20 years now and following the markets. In these 20 years, the trading has changed a lot thanks to technology. We have much more information available now, and with the technology we can process this information in ways that we could not even think about before. Then, as probably most of you, when you observe the markets, and particularly when you see the news about mergers, acquisition, private equity deals, LBOs, new products, things going on, you of course observe the big price movements in the stocks which are related, and when you have the stock moving a lot and options are traded on these companies, of course options move even more. So if you go and see a bit what happened in the options market before the news in these companies, very often I would observe that shortly before the news was released, someone had placed some big bets in soon to expire options, far out of the money mostly. And then of course you ask yourself, what's going on? If someone is betting several hundred thousands of US dollars in something expected to expire worthless in a few days, then either he knows something or he's he's really gambling the wrong way, right? So I prefer to believe that usually these bets are from people structure that have better research, and they're making those bets for some reason. So this is how the thought started, because then I asked myself, well, would it be possible to get all the information of all the options being traded in the US market, put them in several databases, and screen them with criteria that we defined, so that eventually those strange bets can be put in a list and digged further to see if there is something worth to follow, and eventually to help set up a trade or an idea to trade. And thanks to my team of tech geeks, we have been working pretty hard once everything came into place that this is possible from a technology point of view, all the information we need. And now it's over 2 years since we started. The first 6 months was basically only research. It was pretty difficult, because it's many things have to come into place in order to reach this level. Then I've been working with those lists day after day. At the beginning it would take me very long to process the lists, and it would also take me quite some time to get used to trust the information, the detection we would make, because basically it's a bit like a pilot who is flying in the fog and just believes and trusts his instruments. What I mean with this is that, and this was one of the very first detection I made. It was Rhino. I believe you can. It is even on our site. The detections. Let me see. This was. This one here. Here you go. You see, by the way, these are all things that you can go and check on the website OptionsDigger.com. You see, this was, you will see afterwards, when you have a detection, gray background, bold font means it's pretty far out of the money. It's put detection, and it was a pretty straight detection. But then I went to see the chart. This was when the detection was made, so all this part here was not happening yet. You see a company which is moving pretty well since a while. You go and see all the SEC news and filings, and when you have this negative detection and you see the stock price behavior and the news, then you just say there is no way this company is going to lose about 50% of its value in the next couple of weeks, because that was I mean, you don't see this part, it was shaded here, but these bets were made with the assumptions that the stock would lose at least half its value. And so when you have that image and you have this detection and you say it's not possible, I mean, you really have to trust this detection in order to look at it and to eventually place a bet and speculate into that direction. And sure enough, what happened after the detection, I think news came out that the balance sheet were manipulated, and you see what the price did. And so you can imagine the person or the structure who did this bet made a lot of money, and I would assume it was someone close or in the company that knew that in a few days they would announce that balance sheets were manipulated. So this is just to tell you, I mean, it's really a process to get to work with the list, to detect, to see what's right with you, to see how things develop, and to then trust certain detections enough for you to go ahead and position an eventual trade accordingly. And then again, you have the periods of the earnings season where there is much more noise. You have probably to go through a few earnings seasons just to get the right feeling, what you can do, how you can use the information you get during the earnings season. And then of course you have the periods between the earnings seasons, which is a bit more, I would say, clean to detect. So this is why we set up this procedure, and from this procedure I developed also this site with the goal of providing a service that I believe could benefit all the traders. Really, I mean, of course you have to be you have to have a certain level of knowledge about the stock market, about options, about option strategies. And you have to be savvy in this sense. But then, I mean, you can be a trader who is just looking to have you know, some tickers on the radar to day trade. You can be a fund manager who has position or is looking to get into other positions, going through the list every day when you get it, and if there is something weird, you know, some detection which is strong enough to make you believe there is something going on, at least you can you know, pick up the phone and get in touch with your contacts to try to understand what's going on, why is your position on the list. And so it's really I believe it gives you some big heads up for things that you would like to do, for position that you have, or for new opportunities that otherwise you would not even think about. If you go on our website, you can see already some of the detection that we have made and that I've documented. There are many more. As I said, I'm trading myself, so I'm not really spending my time to to document detection every second day, but once in a while I put some great ones and actual ones on the website, so people interested can see that. In this section, latest forum entries, you see that we are updating the list in the service every day. When there are things that I look further, I will write some comments, but that's just my personal for what I'm using the list. As I said, you can be using the list for many other reasons and things that you're looking for. Now you can register to the site for free. You will receive some information. You will have access to regular free trials that we will be doing, and of course you can also register for the list itself. It's about $30 a month to get the daily list. And I really think, I mean, it's once you get used and you know how to use the list, I really believe it's not a big cost for the kind of information and heads up that you receive during an entire year. So let me show you what is the list about, what happens, what other kind of information I use, and how I process the list. This presentation in this sense is a bit long because I'm just going through it very informally, as I do every day, but I want you to give you a frame of what I'm looking for and how I do that. So first of all, every day once the market is closed, about between 90 minutes after markets is closed, we get all the data in our database, and the data is processed. And there is a first list which is available to members in the member area, which will look like this. It is a standard list with the end of day data processed. You will have the E stands for the earnings, if it's going to be soon or not, but this data is not yet in that list because it will be processed later in a second step together with the bull, bear and BB percentage values. But you have the ticker, you have the option symbols which are concerned, you have the end of day date of the data, so the data of this list is the data of the December 7th, so last Friday. You have volume informations, the volume of these options, then what's the average, the deviation of the average, what is the open interest already. Doesn't contain this information yet. The option interest is updated only the next day, shortly before the market opens. Then you have the percentage deviation of the option compared to the stock's closing price. It means this option, this is 5.95 for Apple, expiring in January 2013, it's a call, is 12% away of today's closing price of Apple. Then you have the bull, bear, BB percentage value. I will get back to this just in the next slide. We have an information about the price range. It tells you how big was the range in dollars, if it's above or under the average, and what is the ratio of it, meaning that this is important because if I see that the ratio is very high, I know there will be some strange movement in the options no matter what. It is also important to know this doesn't consider the gap up or down, so you may have a stock that gaps strongly in the morning but has a very
tight range during the day, the ratio there will be very neutral. So you will have to notice that when you check that particular stock. But usually, if I see that I have a very high ratio here and big movements, I know that the movements is due to the price movement of that stock that day. And then you have the total call volumes and total put volumes for that company that day too. Also, the color, you see we have different backgrounds. Blue backgrounds is for calls, gray background is for puts. When it's bold, it means that the options are 10% or more out of the money, both as calls or puts. So this helps a little bit with time to focus better on different things. Now what happens? This is the basic list. If you want to get working straight ahead and digging, you can you have access to this list about 90 minutes after the market are closed. However, when I was working just with that list, it was very difficult actually with this information, unless you have some really clear picture with the options and some stocks that don't usually appear on the list, to really understand if there is some meat on the bone, as I like to say. So it's very time consuming to go through all these stocks, because finally you get on a list each day about 50 to 70 tickers, and if you spend a few minutes on each of them to dig further to see is there something to look after, time is going by. So without this bull beer BB percentage ratios that I have kind of created and produced with the second process, I would spend about 3-4 hours a day just processing this list, while now with this data available I may do so much faster. I would say between 15 minutes and 1 hour. Yeah. So what happens when we process this list with a second database with other data that we collect? This will be now the list that you get, where you have the earnings column which is filled, and the bull, beer and BB percentage column as well. This list is usually available at before 6 a.m. New York City time in the morning. So if you get the list, you have 3.5 hours time to go through it with this information, and I believe it's plenty of time to get ready for the day, also depending on what you're looking for. So now just to complete these columns that we didn't see filled before, -7 here simply means that Apple had earnings 7 weeks ago, and if you have a positive number like here 1, means BBBY will have earnings in 1 week, or if you have a star, an asterisk, it means that, like here, it means that HOV will have earnings this coming week. This helps you see if the detection may be in relation with upcoming earnings or earnings that just passed. And now to this bull beer BB percentage. Well, I'm taking data that I get from another source, and I kind of weight the information of calls, puts, and their relation, in the sense that I try to have a ratio that tells me, okay, overall it's rather a bullish image or a bearish image, or it's in equilibrium, and this I get with the bull beer. For instance, let's go here. You see Amgen has a slightly more bullish ratio, and this BB percentage, the closer it is to 100%, the more it confirms this relation. Meaning, if I have a very strong bull number here and a very high BB percentage number, then I can assume this bull number to be pretty pure and strong. Still doesn't mean that it's necessarily bull. I will explain you why afterwards, but it gives me already some indication. While if I have a very low BB percentage number, it takes the weight of this information, it reduces the weight of this information. I will go through some samples so to let you know what this means. Now, what else do I use? I mean, this is the list that I use for my digging, which is translated into this list that is available to the members, where the format is a bit more clean. It's an Excel format table, and you see here you have all the information as it was on the website. And here I also added now for this sample information which is available for the members in the website, in the forum, which is kind of an advanced FAQ where I tell you again what the different columns means and how I approach and I work with the list. This information is very helpful when you get started with it. Then what else do I need? Beside of the list, I personally use LiveVol Pro. You can. It's a very nice service. It's especially made for people who trade options volatility. But here I get a lot of information and breakdowns that help me dig further once I have a detection I want to pull on my radar and eventually do something. So I really love the service of LiveVol. You can go and check out their website. Then I personally also use Briefing. I have the trader option of briefing.com. It's very helpful because if I have a detection and I want to go and see if there is some news, something around, I can just enter the ticker here, and I will see immediately if the move was rather or the detection is a hidden one, which I prefer, or if it's made because there was much noise and things going on. Then of course I also use very often Yahoo Finance just to see some basic information, and I use between others the TradeStation platform, and I have made a mask. You can copy that if you happen to use TradeStation, where I see in one glimpse when I go through my list. I see the options chain, I can see the daily chart, the 5-minute chart, the time in sales. Then I have the level 2, that's more for when I trade. And if I go and check any kind of particular option, it changes information, especially here in the 5-minute. Now this is not a good example, but I also see how the open interest developed and the price that particular day. But we will see this now when we go through the list. Okay, so now let me take the list for December 7, and I will just process what I do when I have the list. I just start on the top and I scroll down. I look with time. You get the eye to see what you're looking for. I look mostly for things which are pretty detection, which are pretty strong, meaning a strong bull or bear supported by a strong BB percentage. Rather stocks that don't make it often on the list. Not too much noise around. The clearer the better, and these are probably what I call the jackpot detections. They are not many during the year, maybe 5, 10, depends of the time also. You have now a period, I believe it's going to get better and better, because we have again a lot of activity with acquisition, mergers, LBOs, private equity. Then shortly after the crisis, the activity was much less. but you get regularly some really cool detection. And then you can use it for many other things. I mean, if you have a strong bias, so if you see a strong bias with a stock toward an up move, you can put that on the radar. You can day trade. You can use that. The market is going down, and you expect that stock to rather be on the positive side because of the detection you made. You can check for relative strength, and it really helps you to set up some trades also in days that might otherwise be boring. So I usually look at the first thing I look is this. If this is in equilibrium, I will skip it. Apple is almost always on the list. It's a stock which has a very high momentum, many things going on. So the stocks that have high momentum, you won't avoid. They are on the list. We detect them. Doesn't mean there is something meaningful. It will. Once you see that the detection is really strong, then yes, you can follow that too. But we can skip those because of how the settings work for the detection. We also get those, and there is no way around. So I will start scrolling the list. I rather look this here. You have a pretty high number on the bear side, supported by the BB percentage. However, I rather look at bull detections, the blue ones, as the put ones, unless I really have a really strong detection on the negative side. Then I will look into that. But usually I something like this I rather disregard, unless I have a position in something and it's on the list and it's detected. Then maybe I will have a bit of closer look. But to find new ideas, new opportunities, I will not look at it. And I go scrolling down. AIG, I will check the color of the font. I mean, if it's bold, if it's very far out of the money. Even if I have a balance number here, I may look at it and question why is it like that. And here we have this example with Amarin that we can have a look at. It's pretty amazing. I mean, big quantities traded, far out of the money, a lot of calls, even if this is in balance. And here you have an example. You see also here the range ratio is neutral, but if you go and see Amarin that day, you will immediately know why it's made it on the list. Let me pull Amarin up. Here you go. Amarin had the big gap down, and that's what I said. If we have a gap down and a tight range afterwards, it won't appear in the range ratio. But here you have it. And of course, when you have this image, big move, 20%. Of course, you have strange things going on in the option market, and therefore it was detected. So, for me, Amarin is on the list, but it's a no-go unless you follow Amarin for other reasons. You can go and study that more closely, but this is now an image I won't look at. Here we have AOL. Another interesting thing, as an example, you have a strong bull, a strong BB percentage. However, it's a put detection. You also see here low call volume, a bigger put volume. Even though this is strong, I am not looking at it. I would look at something like this if I have several put detected, very far out of the money, high numbers, a stock that usually don't make it on the list. I would maybe go and look further, but this I won't. And so I continue digging here. Yeah, this is nothing special, but you can see here we have a higher bull number, but a very low BB percentage. Even though we have a high total call number, this means probably there have been some option strategies in this talk. Let's go and see over live wall APKT, sorry, this is wrong, APKT. Let us see, here we go. Okay, you see there have been some spreads here and there. So yeah, if you see spreads, and even if you know they're not weighted in the relation between put and calls, you can go and analyze now, for instance, through this live vol service, what kind of spread, what kind of option strategy were set up, and that could, even if the BB percentage is low, it could mean that there is a bias that you can look at with a certain position. So where is it here? APKT. This I disregard. I'm not interested in APKT. I have not a exciting situation here that makes me go and look further. Then what else do we have? AVP. This is interesting actually. AVP. It's interesting. Why? Not because it's necessarily detected today. You have a high bull number, a low bear, a pretty okay, reasonable BB percentage. Okay, you have a high range, you have a high call volume compared to the put. But why is this one interesting? Well, I want to show you what happened with AVP. I didn't highlight it, but I know, because I'm following the list every day, that it appeared on the list many times lately, and here I have prepared it for you already. AVP has been detected since November 19th, and you see all these days, December, wait, let me put it right here. Okay, you see it was bull. What happened to AVP? So first detection was for December options on November 19. Let's go and see AVP. Okay, it has been detected in November already, and then here just before this move, and look what happened on Friday. It moved. I don't know now if there are specific news out, but what I want to say, I mean, I didn't follow that, but it's pretty interesting to see the picture of rather bullish detections, and then this move in AVP. Someone else maybe would have been interested, and through this detection would have had AVP on the radar. Yeah. So this is AVP. And then we go further. Okay, here we have BDX. You see it has a strong number here, but very low BB percentage, very low volume. It's a put. I don't look at it. This is just some example to maybe, you know, someone who gets started with this. Oh, look at here, big bull number, but you have to really see the entire context. You will maybe at the beginning you will go and check a few, and you will start having your own sense to understand what you should look at or not. We have BP. It's bullish, but you see here another thing. When I have this bullish detection, if you so want here, and I have a huge open interest already, even if it's far out of the money, this could very well be someone buying back to close calls. So what I mean, when you have these numbers here, it tells you certainly that calls have been rather bought compared to sold, or that put have been sold rather than bought.
and then you still have to go and analyze, well, have them been bought to open a position or to close a position. When I have a strong number here in the calls and a very low open interest, I know that it's an opening position. But when I have then big numbers here and some numbers here, and then especially when you get close to the expiration where options are being rolled over, with the time you will pretty much make the difference, say, okay, no, here it's rather some movement with the already opened position than something new going on. I had, let's go through here, CBG had the earnings 6 weeks ago. These are January calls, 1920. Okay, this is at the money. This is 5% out of the money. Here you have quite some volume. You see, no open interest. So this is really a buying volume to open a position on the bull side. Very high BB percentage. A rather neutral range, but we still have to see if there was a gap or not, and a strong number of calls compared to put. So what do I do? Let's go and see CBG. Okay, CBG is in its range here, nothing really special here so far. It's January options. Here we have them. You can go and see. Okay, the open interest here will show only on Monday, sure before the market opens. It will be considered in the number. And what could I do now? I could go and check eventually if I'm interested in this CBG. I could go and check live vol to see what is the situation here. So let's go and see CBG. You get the picture of the day. I could go and see, okay, when does it has earnings? Here I see the last 4 earnings. It was last year in February, so to play the January could be a bit too early, but I can go and see the charts. Let's see last year. Okay, it went up into earnings, up into earnings, up into earnings. So this is a consideration I make. You know, I go and see, okay, what happened the last earnings? Here it went down, up, up, down. The periodicity for the time of the year. Some stocks have pretty repeating patterns, and based on all this information, I can decide if now I believe the detection is strong enough, if there is a reason for me, to put it on the radar and to follow this CBG to see if there is more positioning in that direction, and if I want to do something. So these are considerations you do while you go through the list. But certainly this is I would say CBG is not often on the list. It's a pretty clean detection. It's not strong enough here yet for me to say, wow, this I put on my first radar. But I will notice the name, and I will observe the next couple of days or weeks if there is more movement into this direction to eventually pull it up closer, right? Then let's scroll further. I have some examples. See, here it's put, so I'm not following that. Here it's not worth. It's very low volume, even though this number is strong. It's probably, it's not probably, it's put being sold. That's why put being sold is at the base. It's considered bullish. Also, that's why the bull number is high. But it could be that they are being bought to close a position, so it doesn't make sense. FIO, a low BB percentage, was on the list a few times. I'm not looking at that one further. GIS, Okay, this is okay. GIS, interesting, has earnings in 1 week. Someone positioning himself 5% out of the money. This is buying volume. So this value is not too high, but it's still worth consideration. What is with earnings is that usually I don't really play detection which are made going into earnings, at least not the ones which are too close to earnings. Certainly, if you start seeing movements 2 months ahead of earnings in some stocks, and some stocks are traditionally always good, then you see that there is some positioning occurring, well ahead, and there are some stocks that are, work fine again and again with that approach into earnings. You can eventually position yourself to play that. When it's short before earnings, for me to follow that, it should really be a very, very strong signal, meaning, okay, maybe someone really got the news, know what's going to come out, and is making a bet on it. Otherwise, it's obvious that you will detect some options moves just shortly before the earnings are out. So for me, this GIS is this is not too exciting for me to look at. If you are someone who is following GIS, who knows GIS inside out, or has a position, you can maybe go and dig a little further to see if there is some more reason, if it's unusual compared to other earning seasons. But for me, this is not interesting. GRA could be something to go and look at. Groupon is on the list here, of course, because it was all over the place on Friday. So you see very high range ratio, volume, so that's obvious that there was some movement. When something is moving, it's unless it's something you are following and you are in a trade and eventually you want to use information to stay in the trade longer, or to rather get out. Once the move is going, of course, you get detection because there are many things going on. I usually don't jump on the bandwagon anymore. I mean, my favorite ones are really the ones that nobody's talking about, no big move in the price, and no big news, and some strong detection. Those are really the ones I prefer, and the ones that usually works best. I mean, if you go and see also all the detection samples on the website, you will see what I mean. Halliburton, okay, high numbers here, but you see here high open interest. December expiration, probably starting to give back those, and positioning for January. Yeah, it's nothing hot for me to look at. IR, okay, IR, this is interesting. It's a company that is usually not on the list. You have a high number here. Here it looks pretty neutral. This is for sure opening interest into December, so it's pretty short term for such a big number. December 2. Okay, let's go and have a look. IR. Okay, here there is nothing strange so far. I will go and check Lifebolt to see if there is something else coming up. IR. Okay, dividends coming up December 12th. Very probable that the moves going on with the options are in relation with the dividends date. So also that's a reason for me to not really focus on that one. I'm gonna see if we find something hotter. I scroll. I mean, I'm really very fast. I mean, this is rather put. I don't follow unless it's something very clear. These are all in equilibrium. Banks, fine. LNG.
Okay, LNG is interesting. Was detected a few times in the last days. However, this one, well, January, this is a bit higher than the open interest. This is December. We got some volume here. This number is pretty high. Let's go and see LNG, what it did. Okay, it's hanging in there. As I said, we detected LNG already around this area, so it probably got some news, something going on. For me, too late to jump on the bandwagon. Probably you would have had to do so here when it was detected, if you had any reason to follow LNG. I think I highlighted that one, but I didn't really follow myself. Here we have got some strong numbers. If you follow MA, you can go and check this. It's a bit out of the money, but the volume is not so exciting. This is not exciting. All very neutral. I mean, every time I learned, unless there is something that I'm playing otherwise and it's appearing on the list, if I really don't have a strong detection with these numbers, or with the volume in a way or the other, I really just don't consider. Merck numbers, it's rather probably puts being sold to close, or no, sorry, being sold to open. That's why this number is bullish. I'm not interested. NTAP, NXY was on the list a few times. Now this is interesting. I would go and check how the open interest moves on Monday. If it's selling to close, then I would take out NXY of my sorry. NXY was very interesting. NXY was all over the place on Friday because of this takeover speculation. So, no, of course, look, the one on the list for several days was NYX, and that's why I'm confusing those two. No, of course, this for me it's no sense anyway. The news are out. It's here because it was all over the place on Friday, if you want to see what I mean. And XY, this is what I mean. wild thing. So of course this translated into some strange option volume, right? Let's go further. OCZ, it's on the list, has been on the list, it's gonna have earnings, nothing too exciting for me, I'm not gonna look at it. ONTY, very far out of the money. This is pretty neutral. Positioning for January, yeah, I think it's one of those biotech company. It's here and there on the list once in a while. I'm not following this one, but if you are, I mean, certainly worthwhile to go and analyze better this volume. This one, I mean, very far out of the money. Is it buying or selling? And understand the relation. I mean, then what else do we have? ST. But again, what I'm looking for, it's really very personal. I mean, I have so much experience that I really know which kind of setup and clear detections I want to look at. If you start using our list, I mean, at the beginning you really have to go through it day by day. Go and dig the ones which are not so clear a bit further. Understand the interaction of this bull BLBB percentage. What you have to look at to pretty fast make up your mind. Okay, this I want to spend some more time on, or no, this I'm gonna skip. And I guess it's gonna take you probably 6 months to work with the list day by day. Maybe it's gonna take you half an hour to 1 hour every day. 6 months you will have been through two earning season. It's very different during the earning season than the other months. But I would say after 6 months of going through the list, you will start to have a certain level of confidence, of knowledge that is right for you. Okay, what are you looking for? Okay, this situation I want to look at. This situation, this I'm not interested. And you will see with this time you will have been through the list. Some things you will not have considered because it wasn't clear enough, and then of course the news come out and you say, wait a minute, yeah, it was on the list. Now I understand. Okay, it's really a learning process that you have to go through, and that will help you immensely to then be much more efficient. I've been doing that for over 2 years. A lot of experience and things I've seen. But I really think if you want to create an edge in some situations, or to be alerted in some other situation, if you start using our list and you invest some time in it, I'm certain that you will make successful and profitable use of heads up that you get through our list. And for that, the $30 a month subscription is really nothing. But of course, you you will see and understand that once you use it, and you know what I mean. Okay, so I think probably the presentation was pretty messy because I really just went through. There are just a few things I wanted you to pick up. What to look at, what other tools you may want to use, and then you have to create your procedure, what is right for you, using the list, which is the basic. And if you happen to become a member, and if you want to interact, and I welcome that, because I was not an options market maker, so there are some situations which were really pretty crazy in the past with some detections, that the more we are using and digging with some knowledge of other people, maybe we may create some synergies which benefits all of us. Or if you have other point of views or ideas how we could screen better, or I'm very open to that. I think it's very difficult right now to do much more by machine. There is a part of this digging that can only be made through the experience and the knowledge, and going through some of these lists and tools. But whatever we can do in the future to help us improve this list, I'm looking forward to that. Also, the question that I have received already is why we don't use the detection intraday. Well, you can do some kind of detections intraday, but really you will have to be so fast to process the information you get so fast in order to set up a trade. I'm not doing that. I'm too slow, and I get enough opportunities to set up trades with detections we made with the end of day data. What I do during the day, I do screen the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100 universe with the bull BRBB percentage ratio. And when I have not many other things to follow, or to as a setup, If I get some really strong number with bull BRBB percentage intraday, maybe I pull it up and I try to see if it's something to that is worth speeding up a bit the procedure. When I do that, and if I do that in the future, I may introduce a list that maybe our members will also receive intraday with a few other heads up. Usually it will, by logic, it should be then tickers that will appear on the list with the end of day data, but of course you get detections that were made with the end of day data and then the very next day they get going, so it's too late to play. So if you have a head up during the day before the market is closed, it could be an advantage to have that information eventually to trade ahead of the close. Okay, I hope this is all for now. Again, check our website, go through this video, write to me if you have questions. I can send you out lists with these two other Excel sheets at the bottom, the how-to and the approach. If you start working with the list and you focus on the information which is important, I'm sure you will pretty fast understand how to use this information. And that's it for today. I hope it was not too confusing. Maybe I will record one or two more videos in the future, maybe replace this one. This one is the very first one I do, and have a better understanding. But really, if there is anything, if you wonder about anything, just contact me. It will be my pleasure to get back to you, usually when markets are closed. Thank you very much for listening to me for so long. Bye bye.